it's complicated. That's the title of chapter 4 in your new book. So, how do we simplify insurance purchase for the customer and sales for the insurance company and their agents?
I think there's, talk about parametric insurance, I think there are some other ways to make it simple. So insurance, in its infancy, and I look at a lot of insurance carriers that have very compelling foundational stories. If you ask, how did this insurance company get started? Oftentimes it was a group of farmers or a group of laborers, or for USA it was a group of military officers that couldn't purchase insurance anywhere else, and so they decided to insure each other. And it was very much something today we would call peer-to-peer insurance, but back then they didn't have that term. But it was just, I have something in common with these fellow farmers or fellow laborers or fellow military officers, and so we trust each other, and we are probably exposed to similar risks, and so we're going to be there for each other. And so I think we need to get back to those roots of insurance. Again, this is where I think a lot of countries that traditionally have not had a robust insurance market and don't have a ton of laws and regulations on the books, and a lot of kind of legacy things that are really kind of holding insurance back or making it very difficult to change, I think can actually quickly get up to speed to have a very robust insurance market, or possibly even exceed what we have in the United States and Western Europe and other countries. There's so much more now you can do with mobile phones, with 5G technology, with mobile payments that we see in other countries, that I think there are definitely more simplifying ways, especially with big data. I don't need to guess at how much to charge. I have sensor data to actually directly tie to behaviors and to loss events and things like that. So I think a lot of these technologies are going to make some of the questions we try to answer in insurance that have been so bedeviling over these years to be much more straightforward to answer, and therefore the opportunity to make it simpler for customers. I think when you start off with 300 years of history and you've built all this edifice and there's this complex, it's hard to strip all of that away. So it's actually easier to kind of start when you if you live in a country that doesn't have as robust an insurance market. I think it's actually easier to be very thoughtful in today's world with today's technology of how you would create an insurance market in your country. And I think those that have a robust insurance market need to completely rethink insurance. There are absolutely ways to make it simpler in a whole host of different ways. And it's a lot of legal contracts and regulations and old business processes and methods that really get in the way of simplification. And so I think there's a responsibility all around the globe to kind of just rethink insurance.